Today we have with us Karla and Refford. AI is definitely playing a good role.
I think CrowdStrike has things. Google definitely
Playing a
does.
good
So
role.
I would say
Whether
any of them.
it's AI improving security posture or the hackers using AI.
I would say any of the major players in the industry that offer those sort of things. They're the sort of things that I would be looking to learn more and understand more.
Apart from the AI, which technology you think is being, or I should say, will be most effective?
I would say any of the major vendors that offer certifications. So, like you mentioned, Palo Alto does training.
It's a Chief Insights Officer. So that is something which we don't see often as a title. So tell us something about that role which you're in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Security Pulse. Today we have with us Karla Refford. Carla has been in the industry for over 15 years. She has been the Chief Insight Officer with Surefire. And today we're going to discuss all about incident management, incident response. AI has been with us, and we are facing all sort of attacks in the shape of deep fakes, phishing emails, and our incident management plan needs to be hardened, right? So to discuss all of this, we have with us Carla. Welcome to the show, Carla.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Carla, before we start, I want to know a bit more about your background and how did you came into cybersecurity. So I was looking at your LinkedIn profile, and I saw that you have started your career as a recruitment manager. Then you find your way into cybersecurity. So tell us more about how did you find your passion of cybersecurity, and and what excites you in this.
There are a few pivotal moments in my life where I've made decisions very quickly based on either something I've heard or something someone said. And this is one of them. So I had started a recruitment business related. It was looking at governance, risk, business continuity. And someone I was talking to said, you should really check out this cyber thing. It's going to be huge. And I went, okay. And probably within a week or so, I decided that was all we would focus on. So that was where I got my first start into cyber and kind of using that word. And they were right. We became the first recruitment company to only focus on cybersecurity in the UK, and that spread to Europe and the US. So yeah, just one of those lucky moments when someone says the right thing and you decide to listen.
I see. I see. Really nice and really inspiring for somebody who wants to pivot into cybersecurity and they're not always into this field. So I think your profile is an inspiration to them as well.
It's hard to get started now. There are so many courses. People, it's not that you can say, oh, you should check this thing out. It's going to be big. Like it's been big for a while. So I think
Yeah,
it's hard now. And I'm just a big fan of kind of networking and meeting more people and learning more about what you don't know. I think that's the best way to get started these days.
nice, nice. And your title says it's a Chief Insights Officer. So that is something which we don't see often as a
Yeah.
title. So tell us something about that role which you're in and what is your day looks like.
I do two things. So I manage our intelligence team. So all of the data and information that our instant response team generate, my team take that and turn that into something that our clients can make use of. I am not a career intelligence professional. So chief intelligence officer felt like the wrong title. And what I also do is I spend a lot of time with people in the industry and hearing what's going on externally and bringing those insights back into the business. So insights felt right. It shares insights from us out and brings insights back in.
Nice, nice. Really, interesting for me, and I think something for everybody like to look for if they want to get into this career. So to start off, Carla, we'll start with AI. That is something which is trending, and I think there's a lot of impact that it has done in the cyber industry. So talking about the AI-powered threat landscape. So I want to start up with, we have been seeing the deep fake voice calls where somebody impersonating someone, making fake calls using synthetic IDs, and it's been going really bad. And the people are scammed, and they are scared of actually coming into the digital world. So in your view, how do you see the investigations are shaping up these days?
What I think is really interesting is that AI is not creating new threats. AI is changing how existing threats are applied and how they're executed, but it's not creating anything new. Even if you think about what you just said there, so like a synthetic voice, someone's voice that's been taken that talks and you think they're real, that's still the same way of getting access to a company and getting access to their data. It's social engineering. It's the same as if I
Mm,
call up a help desk without an AI generated voice, but convince the person on the other end of the line to give me access to something I shouldn't have access to. So it does change how those attacks can happen. It can change the speed of them. What I think is most interesting is nothing in this is actually truly new.
nice, nice. And I agree with you. I think if you look at from the cybersecurity, perspective, it's still the CIA tried that we need to look for, right? No matter they are like the AI is acting in between, but the still you have to make sure that whatever source you are getting the information from is accurate, and you are using enough guardrails to actually protect that thing. So I think I agree with you. And so moving on, you made a interesting point of cybersecurity is like is still the same. But when you think about the malwares and the attacks that has been carried out recently, and the AI is making attack playbooks change dynamically rather than people before used to do a static playbook where they like understand the weaknesses of their targets and they plan the attacks accordingly. But with AI coming in, we see there are changes happening instantly, right? So how does the response playbook is evolving in order to handle those threats?
I think if you're in an internal role where you're trying to protect the company, maybe you're in a SOC, that first position, the scale of things that you're seeing and having to deal with is definitely different. So the scale, the speed with which you need to react is different. We're definitely seeing on the response side, threat actors get faster. One of the most prolific groups that we've seen over the last year or two, their dwell time used to be maybe 3 days. Now it's down to 12 hours. So
Oh,
you've got to be faster than you did before. Um, and I think not getting distracted by what the threat actually is. So what I mean by that is don't worry about how someone is doing something. There's a place for that, but worry about what it takes down. What systems can you not live without? What systems need to be running faster than others? And focus on what you do when those systems go down, not necessarily how they get taken down. If you're getting distracted by an AI tool could take this down, you're not focusing on the right thing. And I think you can end up being distracted.
nice, nice. And you made an interesting point about knowing your systems and making sure that you have those classification in place, that which are your high critical assets and what are your like stance against safeguarding those assets. So in terms of setting up this whole SOC thing, so we see these days that there are a lot of branding happening these days around the SOAR solutions, and every vendor is coming up with their own sort of scene version, how to set up all this thing. And as we are now getting, or as we are seeing a lot of tools coming in, uh, how much do you think the teams are prepared in terms of handling those modernized version of tools and getting their SOC ready?
Think it depends. If you're a large enterprise, then I think you have a good team in place. If you have something like Huntress in place, then you're in a really good position. It's the businesses that are just below that. Maybe they have an MSP that doesn't focus on security. Maybe they don't have anything. The ones who still think, and you still hear it all the time, no one who's going to want to attack us. Like we're not really at risk. We're not the target. They are absolutely the target. If you have money, you're a target.
I see, I see. And talking about money and if you are a target, so security teams in general have limited budget, right? Business needs to spend on something which is more productive for them. They spend on making applications smarter, autonomous and all those like AI driven features now we see these days. But like in general, cybersecurity budget is limited, right? So if you have to advise a CISO on like what are the three capabilities should they prioritize to prepare an AI driven attacks, what would you say to them?
I would give them the most boring answer. So, do you actually know what your asset list is, what you actually have? Because what we see all the time is it's a forgotten server, a forgotten account that had VPN access that then wasn't protected by MFA. So, if you don't know what you have, you can't protect it. It doesn't matter whether that's AI or something else. The next thing that really makes the biggest difference is having MFA rolled out everywhere it can. It's always the service accounts, it's always the account that you've forgotten. And then what have you done with your backups? Like, are they immutable? Are they domain joined? What security have you put around your backup so that if something does happen, you can actually recover? So it doesn't matter whether it's AI driven. There are going to be those companies that are critical national infrastructure that have a slightly different risk profile. But for most organizations, it's really those basic, boring things that mean things slip through.
I see, I see. And in terms of advising to CISOs and management, where do you see the gaps are in terms of, the communication with the business and in the same time having the team to focus on the critical things?
The gaps feel to me the same place they've always been, but it's just slightly different topics. You've now got a board that do know what AI is and they're scared about it. So they're asking about the things that they've read or the things that someone else has told them, and still not asking the right questions about maybe those basic things because they're getting all their information from everywhere else. So if you're the CISO and you're not the main source of cybersecurity advice to your board, you need to really understand where are they getting their advice from and their information from. And that's always been the problem, just with different words thrown in there. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. And there is also, if you look at the infrastructure or the architecture these days, mostly I see deployments happening in the cloud. And talking about any cloud, they have their own sort of perimeter protection firewalls or systems in place, and which means that they have some sort of incident response happening around that perimeter part as well. So when the request is coming, bypassing those controls and coming to your sort of like architecture, then your incident response or anything which will be there, then it will trigger after that. So there is you in a way are actually reacting like as a second level of defense, right? You're not the first like the perimeter. So in that context, if you have like multiple layer of defenses and multiple sort of socks like in the way, so how do you see those communications happening in place? Is it something which you see like normally, or you think teams are getting prepared for that?
We're on the side where those things have gotten past that point and gotten to the worst case scenario. So we don't see a huge number of organizations that have such great defenses and that defense in depth that you're just talking about there. We don't see that many of those. So I think, that suggests that it is working. And what we see are the ones that haven't implemented that properly or haven't got good communication in place in between them.
I see, I see. And Carla, what I have seen in the news or in my experience, like security operations center is a very like tense sort of stressful organization, where we see people working in shifts, and they maybe are called like in the middle of the night, and there is a cyber incident happen, and there is all of a sudden a war room in place. So in your experience, have you dealt with any of those like midnight incidents, and what's your take on this? If somebody will say that, hey, I mean, security operations center is like a war room, what do you have to say about that?
I'm lucky that I haven't been in one of those roles, so I'm lucky that I don't get the calls at midnight. Our team at Surefire do. We have people that jump on those calls to understand what's happening and to start remediating all throughout the night. So, but I'm lucky that that's not me.
I see, I see. So in terms of the like the mindset, what do you need to excel in this role? What mindset has helped you to transition from, let's say, from your founder experience to a product executive and now a leader, redefining incident response?
Probably the thing that helps me do all of those things, and I see it with the team that we have as well, particularly around response. I think they have it in droves, is curiosity and asking questions. Like our response team often say, it feels like putting the pieces of a puzzle together because they're looking at all the information to figure out what actually happened. And I think that's just really true for every role. That curiosity, what don't I know? What questions can I ask? Asking how can I help the person in front of me, whatever that is, if that's about building a product, if that's about understanding what intelligence they want to receive, or if it's about understanding, hey, you're in the middle of an incident and things are not good for you right now, having that empathy for that person and the curiosity around the things that you need to know to get them the best possible help.
Nice, nice. And if somebody wants to get into this field, like there are like tons of certifications around the security operations and security, uh, incident response. But uh, which course or certification for you think is really a good one? Which if somebody wants to get into this field?
I've been talking about this a lot right now. I have very strong opinions on this, particularly coming from a recruitment background as well. So
Yeah.
when I was in the recruitment world, I noticed a couple of things. So either hiring managers favored whatever certification they had taken. If they'd chosen a particular path, then they favored those ones, understandably. Or they
Mhm.
just didn't really know the difference. I think a lot of people in cyber who've been in cyber a long time or in hiring manager positions don't really know what the difference is. And there are thousands of courses out there right now. So outside of the big ones like your CISP or your CISM or something like that,
Mm.
that takes years to get, those entry level courses, there's so many, it's almost impossible for a hiring manager to really know what each one does. So if it was me coming into this now, I would not pay for anything. I would take as many free courses as I could. I would do as much hands on practical work as I could. I would network as much as I could. Most locations have free or low cost things that are local to you. Go there and meet people. Go there and offer help to friends businesses or small businesses and
Yeah,
get some
yeah,
practical
yeah.
experience. But yeah, the courses out there right now, I just think there's too many and people don't really understand the value. So for me, if you're starting, it's too big of an investment that's probably not going to pay off.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And coming from the recruitment background, I think you have a great idea to, what sort of profiles people are sending and what sort of expectations there are from the security professionals in terms of hiring. And I would like to add like a couple of more points here. So what I feel is, so when, especially these days, when AI is writing your resume, you can made up anything and you can even do a crash course on CISP and have chat gpt summarize that if you want to do a 2 days crash course, right? So in terms of your expertise or how you can make difference is by getting hands on into the real projects and wherever you're applying. Let's say if you're applying in a telecom operator like Verizon or a cyber company like Palo Alto. So you have to understand where you are going in terms of the industry and what sort of products they would be having, right? So and based on that, if you can do the product certification, for example, Palo Alto has a lot of certifications which they provide, like Nvidia has their own certification patterns. So it's important to plan your certifications around the role which you are getting into, and then you can be in a good position to outsmart like others. Because if you will go with generic certifications, you're not going to make a lot of difference there.
Yeah, if you know exactly what you're going to do, or if there's a particular company that you really want to work with and they have something, or the CISO there really likes a particular style of training, there are there are programs that are good. There are some security training programs where they get you that work experience as well. So
Yeah, yeah,
there are
yeah.
good things out there. And you obviously do want to go and learn, but I just think there are a lot of free or low cost options. And the days of spending thousands and that being your key to getting in, that day has passed. So you need to make
Yeah,
really
yeah.
smart choices with where you're investing.
And I think with certifications as well, if you really want to stand out, you can do a lot of work in the open source community. So there are lots of open source channels and like pages, forums where they ask you to contribute. So if you know something and if you think you're really smart, you can go into these forums and start contributing it, right? So this is how you can make your sort of your GitHubs profiles, and that can add value to your profile as well. Because for me, if I'm hiring, I'll not be looking for a certification per se thing. I'll be looking for that how much contribution that guy has done to the industry, and what is those projects that he has worked on. So that is like more important for me, and for anybody in general who is from the cyber world, I guess.
Yeah, and threat intel is a great area to kind of prove that point out. There are lots of free tools where you can scan things that are all legal, but there are lots of things like that. There are lots of open source information, and you can take that and understand it and learn how you write reports and start thinking about
Mhm.
how you communicate risks. So threat intel is very much a great entry level role to come into for cyber as well.
Nice, nice. So, Carla, I think this is will be like so for us. If you look from the cyber industry, like AI is definitely playing a good role. Whether it's AI improving security posture or the hackers using AI, it's really the talking point. But apart from the AI, which technology you think is being or I should say, will be most effective for somebody who wants to get their hands on now? Which of the technology per se would be helpful for them to learn now?
I would say any of the major vendors that offer certifications. So, like you mentioned, Palo Alto does training. I think CrowdStrike has things. Google definitely does. So, I would say any of the major players in the industry that offer those sort of things. They're the sort of things that I would be looking to learn more and understand more.
I see. And there's a lot of talks happening around the quantum computing, like or the post quantum computing era. In your view, if you have to make a wild guess, when do you think our socks needs to be prepared with a quantum computing coming in?
I have no idea. My wild thing about quantum is I think it's going to make us all vegetarian because I think it's going to be able to understand how animals communicate. But there's been a couple of governments around the world that have put in legislation recently around quantum encryption. So Singapore just put out something around making sure their companies in their country are going to be ready for quantum. The UAE did the same thing too. They've put in, I think it's called the National Encryption Policy, but that again is about getting organizations ready for post quantum encryption. So I'm really encouraged by that governments are getting so far ahead and taking action because that's not typically what we see. So
Yeah, true,
I think
true.
it sounds like we're a while away. Everyone always says 10 years, and that seems to be a rolling 10 years. But it's nice to see that people are actually going to be prepared ahead of time.
I think you say a word vegan, So before coming to this podcast show, I was surfing on LinkedIn, and there I saw a post of somebody posting about AI vegan. So there's a group which is abandoning AI. They said that AI is taking the jobs. People so much are using AI that they are not legit and they are not real. And there's a lot of harm that AI has done. So we don't want to use AI. So that is this group which is coming in and they are gaining popularity. So I mean, how things are going, I think we would like to see how that all shapes up later. Yeah,
Yeah, it's scary to think that, you can't necessarily tell the difference as well. How are you meant to understand what's true and what's real when the
yeah,
fake things are so good? That is, yeah, I think we see a lot of that online right now.
yeah. Okay, so now we're going to have a lot of fun. There is a last section in our show which we call rapid fire. We will ask you 10 quick questions, and without so much thinking, you just have to say what is coming into your mind. Right?
All right.
Okay. So the first question is deep fake or AI bot, which scares you more?
I think the deep fake scares me more. The power that that could have on just a geopolitical scale makes that really scary to me.
Uh, I also agree with that. One cybersecurity skill every kid should learn.
Communication.
I was about
Yeah.
to say the same thing. So
Yeah,
that's so important. Yeah,
if you can't communicate the risk to the wider business, that's going to put you in it's going to be career limiting.
yeah, yeah. And to add to this one, I think also communication with the communication you because everything comes with a budget, right? If you don't have a budget, you cannot do any security and you cannot do hiring or anything. So communicating that why security matters to your business and have them support you is also an important thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, then yeah, this is a good one. Most overrated security buzzword right now.
I mean, AI generated is everywhere, or AI enabled. But the one, because it is so real telltale that it's generated by AI, is I am allergic to the phrase cyber threat landscape or today's evolving threat landscape. I cannot bear that phrase.
I see. For me, it's AI bots. Because they can mean a lot of things. So what is an AI bot? So that's one IR tool you can't live without.
I think anything secure communication. So whether that's a platform, like whether it's something just out of band like WhatsApp, or we work with a platform called Breach Plan Connect sometimes, where you can communicate outside of your normal network, and your IR plans are stored off your normal network. So in case you are ever truly fully down, you still have access and a way to communicate.
Nice, nice. Okay, this is also a good one. So, and I'll add one more to it. It was originally that if you weren't in cyber, what career would you choose? But I'll add one more thing since I know, like, since you are from the recruitment industry as well. So, if you weren't a recruiter or into cyber, what career would you choose?
There's so many things that I think are interesting. I feel like I need a dozen different lives. I would love to have like a yoga retreat or something like that. I
Mhm.
also, I spend a lot of time on my personal brand. So a personal branding agency is probably the logical answer, a little bit more logical than a yoga retreat in the middle of nowhere, especially
I
given
think,
I'm
and
not
they
very good
do,
at yoga.
yeah, and they do make a lot of money. What I have heard that you can gets lots of requests because anybody you can reach out to, your target market will become big, right? So yeah. Okay. One woman in cyber who inspires you.
There's a lot. Jane Franklin is up there. She's one of the biggest names when you think about women in cyber. She's done some great things for the industry. She recently got her MBE. So Jane Franklin is definitely one of those people.
Nice, nice. One prediction for cybersecurity in 2026.
I hate making predictions. What we've seen with ransomware groups is definitely just a use of AI to enhance their communication, their negotiations. I would expect to see a little more around that, around how they negotiate, what they ask for. I can see that just making some of the groups with less capability a bit more sophisticated.
Okay, that's a good one. So what I Chat GPT by an attacker to attack a national agency. Because that's what I because see we had an incident where Claudia was and ChatGPT has been the AI tool right there. So I probably guess that somebody would be targeting this as well.
Yeah, and that one that we saw was really interesting. Like the question of why would a foreign agency use an American-based tool to launch those
Yeah,
attacks? That was a really
yeah,
interesting question, and you have to wonder if they were testing what does it take for us to get caught.
yeah, yeah. And I think with all of this thing happening, I want to be wrong, but that how AI is being used for a cyber attack, I think this maybe one day we'll see some law coming in that there should has to be some restricted use of AI. So I think I'm looking forward to the year 2026. You know, I can see some interesting things happening around the AI. One of the like in the recent past, I was looking at some news where people are protesting that with AI we are losing the jobs, and and you have to restrict the use of AI. And any company who wants to use AI, they have to say it out that what use case they are solving and how they are. This is not impacting their employees. So this is important. I think we'll see some things happening in 2026. Okay. So in terms of the future outlook, where do you see where AI defends against AI without human involvement? Is there a future that you see here?
If there is, I don't think it's imminent. I think anything that's involves security still needs a person in the loop at some stage. So maybe AI can do a lot of the work, but anything that we're looking at internally, we always want to make sure that there is a person reviewing it to really make sure that, the efficiency is what you think it is, the accuracy is what you think it is. I know developers are worried about people who are learning to code using AI and how that will take away their jobs. But those people don't know when things are wrong. They don't know how to fix it when things go wrong. They don't know how to secure it. So I don't feel like that's the next couple of years at least.
Yeah, I agree with you, and and that's like we need to like look into this more deeply, right? Uh, Humans should be in the loop. I think for whatever the AI can do, but still AI is not that intelligent right now. So yeah, I do agree with you. That's about it. We have reached the end of our show. I think I would like to really thank you for coming. Uh, I myself have learned a lot from you. I will encourage you to watch her course on LinkedIn. She has done a really good course on incident response, and it's available on LinkedIn Learning. And I personally have taken her course, and it's really interesting. And you will, if anybody wants to have a career in incident response management, this is the course which you need to look at.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me, and thanks for the shout out on the course. It was a lot of fun to create.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. If you like this show, please do comment. And if you want to know more about incident response management or want to land your career in cybersecurity, reach out to very responsive, and she'll be definitely helping. Until next time, all the best and take a very good care of yourself.